The only time that we got word that Biggie came into Southside Crip territory was after Biggie was shot and killed at the Peterson Museum. We start getting calls from informants saying that, hey, they were down here, they were down at South Park in Southside Crip territory, and I think they went to a basketball game too. But that was never corroborated, because I think if he would have went to a basketball game, there's a lot of people that would have saw that, you know. But anyway, we got word that he came down here and that they were using Southside Crips for security. Basically like, you know, Suge Knight and Death Row had their entourage of, they call them the Goon Squad or whatever. So when they came down here, they used Southside Crips for their entourage. So that was really about the only time that we heard that.
Right. So talk about Biggie's murder. So it's wild because, you know, Tupac's murder, it seems like it was the worst kept secret in town, that the Southside Crips were behind it.
Right.
But when it comes to Biggie's murder, it's like silence. Like,
I know.
It was kept very close to the vest. It seems like whoever people think did it, it seems like only a few people were aware of it. Do you know the way that it was set up? Did you ever hear anything, get any information on Biggie's murder?
We never really got any, I would say, information as to who done it. The information we were getting it, and we thought, like Tim and I both talked about it with Reggie Sr., we thought it was, as soon as we heard, hey, this is a payback for Tupac getting killed. You kill one of our big stars, we're gonna get one of yours. First thing that came to mind. And I still think that's true, right? But after a couple days after the Biggie was killed, LAPD was waiting for us. When me and Tim, when we came to work, detectives were waiting for us because they got word that, hey, Southside Crips were there again, right? And so they wanted to know who Keefe D, Orlando, and all these guys were. So we traded information, and we told them about the war that was going on between the two, and that we were going to do a search warrant. And one of our informants told us that he has an SS Impala, and that was seen at the Biggie murder, an SS Impala supposedly. Well, he had it at his girlfriend's house on California Street in Southside Crip territory, and it was underneath the cover. And we thought that was odd because these guys love their cars, and it was a nice car, and they usually don't hide them under a tarp in the backyard somewhere. And this is right after Biggie was killed. So we go, I don't know, maybe. So we do another search warrant, and we hit the house, and the LAPD, Russell Poole, and another guy came out there, and they ended up storing the car. But their investigation went somewhere else, and they kind of dismissed the Southside Crip as being the suspects in Biggie murder. And to be honest with you, I don't really think that they were involved myself. I think it was Looters Park or mob, someone from that area myself, because I think it's straight payback.
Right, and the most likely culprit would have been one of those Pyro gang members.
Right. I mean, everyone says it's Poochie, but this is my personal opinion, because I knew all these players, you know, and I'm not saying Poochie was more than capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight, right?
Sure.
I'm not saying he did not do it, but I'm just saying that there are so many people in that core group that could have done it.
Right.
Not just Poochie.
It's a bunch of potential suspects in that group. Yeah.
I mean, they all had that mentality and weren't afraid to do anything.
Let's see what mob said, because there's 20 guys that are get down like that.
For sure. I mean, for sure. I mean, they grew up in that mentality, and they were 100% down. So, I mean, I'm sure if Suge asked them to do it or was going to pay somebody to do it, they would have done it. So that's just my personal opinion. So.
Did you ever put much stock in the Russell Poole's conspiracy about dirty cops?
I thought that was stupid, really. I mean, everyone tried to tell him, you know, it wasn't these rogue LAPD cops or whatever his conspiracy theory was, but he went off, man. And he just, I mean, to me, Greg blew that out of the water, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just by witness statements and everything. I mean, you can't even corroborate that they were even around. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make sense to me. But,
Yeah.
You know, conspiracy theorists, though, they love that stuff. So
Sometimes I think people like it, the more entertaining explanation than the more rational explanation. And usually real life is usually a little more boring.
yeah, I know. Just like Tupac, you know, people just don't want to believe that it could just be straight disrespect. You steal my chain, I'm going to get back at you. But people don't realize the mentality of these gangsters. Now, I was there for 20 years, man. I saw them, you know, firsthand. And if you disrespect some of these guys, they're not going to let it slide. They got to go back to their own neighborhoods, and it's just not the way it works, man.
Right.
They're true gangsters, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah, I asked Mob James about this recently. I just said the biggest I have a lot of sticking points for why I don't agree with Russell Poole's theory, but the biggest one for me was if you had this goon squad of 20 guys that you know are down with it and aren't gonna roll over, you know what I mean? They're gonna take it to the grave with them. Why would you trust? The dirtiest cop in the world is still a cop.
Right.
And you don't know what that guy is.
That's an excellent point, because I mean, these gangsters aren't going to put their livelihoods on cops, dirty cops. It doesn't even make sense. They don't trust us, and then we don't trust them. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? At that time, they're not going to, even if they thought we were dirty. Yeah, they might use a dirty cop to do certain things, but they're not going to ask them to kill for them. Why? They got 20 other gangsters that are willing to do it. So